Namaste, everyone. This is going to be a Kundalini yoga for the full moon in Gemini, happening on the 12/12 portal. This particular full moon Gemini is very interesting. It is giving us the communication skill to break through our blocks, our inner demons, and our darkness. So if we have been holding ourselves back, this Gemini is going to give us the wit and the sharpness to cut through. So Gemini in the higher vibration is seen as, we can see it as a judge in the way that what is said, what is expressed, what is communicated brings justice. It brings harmony. It brings breakthrough. We know the lower vibration of Gemini can be destructive communication, it can be gossip, it can be drama, it can be dysfunctional sort of groups that are belittling or create all kinds of facades and just dishonesty, right? But Gemini is very, very honest, right? When we look at the higher vibration. So Gemini is really asking us to get honest with what we intend to experience in the future, right? Let's be honest. Again, the lower vibration is dishonesty, right? I'm not being honest. I'm presenting a facade, or I am participating in a group, a friend group, a family group that is creating gossip or dysfunction or drama that is in supporting credibility, right? To be credible, according to Gemini, is to follow through on your honesty, right, with yourself. So it's very uh, challenging, right, to be brutally honest, because Geminis, we know, can be very brutally honest, right? Kind of cut through, right? The sword of truth. They hold the sword of truth, just like that judge. So it can seem almost brutal, very harsh, or even irritating, agitating, or frustrating to receive the sword of truth, right? Just coming down on us. But it's there because it's to help us. It's to help us evolve out of an experience that isn't serving us anymore, right? So that we can move on to newer, greater experiences. So if we are carrying any blockages or just low energy, right? Low energy, heaviness, burdens, all of that is being reviewed. All of that is undergoing a life review. And what that means is that Gemini is kind of holding that torch, right? Holding the light, holding the beacon, the sword of truth, right? The glowing sword of truth, like the full moon. And what it's doing is that it's helping us to not fear our inner demon, our enemy, to fear the parts of ourselves that may be reckless or impulsive or have participated in drama or dysfunctionality or groups of friends that were very unproductive. It's really that sort of truth is helping us to face, right? Look ourselves in the mirror. Look ourselves in the mirror and see how we have been participating in an experience that is out of alignment with our dignity. Because one of the greatest life lessons for the Gemini is to learn dignity. And the only way you learn dignity is through experience. So Gemini is considered that I'm experienced. I've been around the block, I've been there, done that, I've been reckless, I've been dishonest, I've been in the facade group, the superficiality, but I've also been in the group of where you're very clear, you're very sharp, right? You're very productive. So it's very much through experience I gain dignity, right? Through experience I trust myself, right? So Gemini is very much about I trust myself, right? But you have to be honest with yourself. We don't really get to that point where we break through our blocks, where we start to liberate ourselves the way that we have been belittling, shaming, or judging ourselves, because Gemini can be very, very judgmental. We have to be honest with ourselves, right? So it may seem abrupt, it may seem harsh, but this full moon is very, very charged, very, very charged in the way that it is encouraging us to reach out. To reach out, either that is to reach out and jumpstart in a new experience, right? To reach out to the universe, to reach out to friends, to family. It's really, it's very intense, this desire we have to communicate and to find our team or find our tribe. There's this deep desire to want to communicate, to want to express ourselves, and also we want clarity, right? This full moon is very much about the clarity, right? We're going to receive clarity to our heart's desire, our deepest heart desire, and we're also going to receive clarity to what is the next experience for us. So we have been a lot of us in this fall and winter months have been kind of chilling in this sort of incubation period, um, where we're basically been having a major life review. Basically, we can say even from June on into January, February, we've been having this major sort of life review that's just gotten heavier and heavier and heavier as we've entered more into the winter months, where our dreams got maybe more pressurized from our psyche, from our soul. We've felt more pressured and pushed by the universe to really clean up clean up our lives, or to really take the plunge and obey our intuition. So we've definitely been in this major life review because we're really being catapulted in 2020 into a higher vibration, right? And sometimes we don't even know that we're stubborn, or that we're hanging an experience, literally hanging like a hangman, right? Hanging an experience that really isn't giving us energy. And sometimes we just stay there because it's comfortable. It's all we know. It makes us feel practical, right? But only when the sword of truth cuts, right? Cuts whatever attachments or cords or sort of stubbornness, right? Cuts you can say whatever's wrapped around our wrists and ankles, the hanging us, suspended by vines, cuts through it, then we fall. And we realize, wait a minute, right? Wait a minute. Actually, what I've been participating in was not giving me energy at all. I was actually not really moving forward, right? So a lot of times that sort of truth, that Gemini can be very abrupt and harsh and sort of direct, has really gotten us to this point where we're really looking at ourselves in this life review and saying, okay, yeah, we're okay, right? It's almost like, okay, I'm ready to go, right? I'm ready to evolve out of any experience that is creating this burden or this heavy weight on myself, and I'm ready to move on, right? To push onward, right? So Gemini definitely is giving us this sword of truth, also giving this sword of ability to cut through the nonsense, right? The nonsense. Like all of us, we get so interlocked in these nonsense, or we get interlocked with the belittlement and the judgment and the shame and these lower vibrations, these entities and demons, right? We can get kind of caught in that sort of lower vibrational reality where we dwell, right? We dwell emotionally, we dwell mentally, we start to dwell physically, right? We start to dwell in our, even in our sexuality. Creativity begins to dwell, right? So we're definitely, Gemini is like almost like that no BS, right? It's like kind of like when you look at the judge, it's like intense and intimidating when that judge looks at you, because you can know you cannot fake anything. You can't do no games, right? It's either you're honest with yourself or you miss the boat, and maybe you can get another chance next time around, right? But this 2020 wants to catapult us into a higher vibrational life, but we have to be on board, right? It's kind of like, if we're not on board, let's hope if we can loop around next time, right? But this 2020, especially now, is really, really preparing us for that. Really, really preparing us by redirecting our communication towards a positive or neutral communication, right? Or really helping us to clear up misunderstandings, or to have forgiveness, or to express our heart's desires, or to really improve our communication with friends or family, or also just could improve our communication with ourselves, right? It's our own. Geminis also can be like your own self psychology, right? The way that you internally speak to yourself, and is that belittling you? Is that or is it help encouraging you to be more honest and forthright? So we're just going to do this meditation for this Gemini full moon. So just relax, seated on your bottom. We're going to tune in with Om Namo Gurudev Namo. So rub your hands together at the heart. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, press the hands into that sternum. Inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. 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 Inhale. Hold the breath. Tuck in the chin. Press the tongue on the upper palate. Squeeze rectum, sex organ, navel, belly button, spine. Sip more air through the tongue, through the nose. Exhale. Now a protection mantra to the right, behind, to the left, ahead, and then spin it. And visualize gas stove blue energy everywhere, like you're in a big flaming gas stove blue flame or burning bush. Adgadename, Jagadgadename, Sadgadename, Siddhi Gadadeve Name. Adgadename, Jagadgadename, Sadgadename, Siddhi Gadadeve Name. Adgadename, Jagadgadename, Sadgadename, Siddhi Gadadeve Name. Inhale, squeeze, root lock, chin lock, press the tongue on the upper palate. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to sort of work with this heart energy. So my hands are like this, my thumb is in, sort of like a cup, right? Look at the tip of the nose. So I'm here at the nibble, and then I come out, away from the nibble, and then back to the nibble. So it's like nibble to nibble, out and back like this. Long, deep breathing. So in the breath, count to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold for 2 seconds. Press the tongue on the upper palate, and then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold the out breath. Squeeze the root lock. Press the tongue on the upper palate, and then inhale. Or you can do sa-ta-nama, sa-ta-nama. The inhale. Hold. The exhale, sa-ta-nama, sa-ta-nama, hold, and then continue. Now go faster. Now, when you look at the tip of the nose and you see your hands in the peripheral vision, it should feel so fast that you can't even see it. It's a blur when you look in the peripheral vision of your eyes. Okay, inhale, now just press on the nipple, the hands press together, or the fingers facing each other. Inhale, hold the breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now bring the hands here, like a cup at your solar plexus. Now kind of look at this cup. Look into it. The long deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Now bring those hands up. Kind of cup it over your head like it's a hat. Open up the armpits. Open up the heart. So it's kind of like you have a hat over your head, and really feel that your heart's lifted up. Your heart is lifted up. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the hands back down. Bring them into just Gyan Mudra, resting on your your knees. Take a moment. So the next thing we're going to do is our hands, kind of like jazz hands. Like your fingers are antennas, and we're going to push forward and back. And it's kind of like a breath of fire. So inhale, shoulder blades tight, press together, jazz hands out. Exhale through the nose, jazz hands like this. Inhale, pull it back. Feel your heart wide. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Now create tight fists. Bring the fist kind of closer in like this. So I had the thumb on the Mercury mound, the pinky mound, and then the forefingers over the thumb like this, fist. So it's kind of right here. Just think of like an inch away from your nibble. So your nibble is right here, and then just out a little bit. See that? Now chant. Hara hara govinde, hara hara mukande. So think you're holding like candles, like a candlestick, and you're holding it real tight. You have your chin tucked in, and you're just really holding the light, right? You're lighting. Think of like your nibbles are light, like a candle. You're holding these candlesticks, you know. Hara hara govinde, hara hara mukande, hara hara dare, hara hara pare, hara hara hariyang, hara hara kariyang, hara hara naname, hara hara kame, hara hara govinde, hara hara mukande, hara hara dare, hara hara pare, hara hara hariyang, hara hara kariyang, hara hara naname, hara hara kame, hara hara govinde, hara hara mukande, hara hara dare, hara hara pare, hara hara hariyang, hara hara kariyang, hara hara naname, hara hara kame. And move out like this. Hara hara govinde, hara 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 Mukande, Hara Hara Dare, Hara Hara Pare, Hara Hara Hariyam, Hara Hara Kariyam, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Govinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Dare, Hara Hara Pare, Hara Hara Hariyam, Hara Hara Kariyam, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Govinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Dare, Hara Hara Pare, Hara Hara Hariyam, Hara Hara Kariyam, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Govinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Dare, Hara Hara Pare, Hara Hara Hariyam, Hara Hara Kariyam, Hara Hara Name, Hara Hara Kame. Inhale. Bring the fists together at the solar plexus. Exhale. Now bring the hand like into a little cup, right? Almost like you have a pearl, and put it like right at the thymus, like right in the middle of your chest, right in the heart chakra. So cup, see this? Bring it in like this. Now we're going to do a breath of fire. Even inhale, exhale through the nose. And you want your fingertips on the, think of it on the wrist. So my right fingertips are on the left wrist, my left are on the right wrist, my left fingertips. And really press the tongue on the upper palate, and really you can pump the navel. It's almost like you're listening to your heartbeat, right? When you press onto your sort of your wrist with your fingertips, you're kind of listening to your heartbeat. Or you can feel your heartbeat on your fingertips. Now keep the breath of fire going and open the hands here. In your aura, keep the thumb together. Create that 90-degree angle when it comes to your forearm and your when it comes to the bend of your elbow. And really stick that heart open up the heart. Inhale. Squeeze. Exhale. Now place the hands on the back of the neck. Squeeze the neck up. Press the back of the skull up. Tuck in the chin. Open the armpits. Open the heart. Long, deep breathing. Rise all the way up to the top of your head, and then let the breath fall all the way down to the perineum. While you're squeezing that back of the skull up. So I want you to count to 8 or Satanama, Satanama on the inhale. Hold, feel the energy swirling, spiraling at the top of the head, and then Satanama, Satanama on the exhale. Hold, squeeze, and feel the energy swirling and spiraling at your perineum down into the earth. So think of your energy at the top of your head going up, spiraling, funneling up, and then energy spiraling, funneling down into the ground. Let yourself kind of fall into a sleep and really visualize this funneling, spiraling energy. Think above your head is cold, it's cold, like space is cold, and then think below you is heat, right? So think below your perineum is heat, right? In the soil it is warm. In the soil it is warm. Think above your head is cold. It is cold, like cold water. So feel that's kind of those temperatures. See it kind of funneling, spiraling up, down, and also spiraling, funneling into you, into your heart. So think of the cold as well as the heat kind of joining together at the heart. And your heart is the great regulator of the cold and the heat. So think of your heart when it's pumping to regulate the cold as well as the heat within your body. So think of your sexual energy, which is your lower chakras, as heat, right? Heat, passion, desire, like a flame. Think of your third eye as like the cold. Think of it like the cold mountain where the Himalayan monk goes to study his book of wisdom in the cold mountain. Think of it like our third eye, where wisdom can be found. And high in the mountain, I can see crystal clear the universe, the stars, the constellations. So think of our lower chakras as like the bar, the warm, cozy bar scene, right? We think of, our sexual energy as like karma, right? Sexual energy has to do with our attachments to people, right? Our family, our friends, our lovers, our ancestors. And think of our higher chakras, our third eye, as the cold, as in the cold mountain where we detach from the karma, right? We're not in the bar scene, the warm, cozy bar scene. We're on a journey, a spiritual journey, right? We're ascending this physical life. We're traveling through the stars, traveling through the planets, traveling into other worlds. That's the third eye. So we have the warm, cozy bar scene, which is the lower chakras, the karmic, as well ancestral fire. Think of the fire where we kind of hang out with our people, right? Here on earth, our family, our friends, our lovers, our ancestors. Think of the cold, the snowy cold, as like the stars, the constellations, where I travel into other planets, into other dimensions. So really feel those lower chakras, feel those higher chakras kind of emerging at the heart, right? The karma, your ancestors, your family, your friends, the cozy bar scene. And think of the connecting with the higher chakras, which is your soul, traveling through planets and stars and star systems and dimensions. Think of that, the karma and the dharma emerging in the heart. And see it, the warmth and the cold coming together. So think of the dharma as wisdom, think of the karma as ancestral knowledge coming together. The dharma is the wisdom to evolution, the karma is the ancestral knowledge to human experience. And think of them coming together at the heart as dharma and karma together are for liberation, right? We pump our blood, right, through the navel. We dance with our heart, right, pumping our heart vigorously through dance, yoga, stretching, to celebrate, right? The heart, when it's running, when it's jogging, when it's surfing, when it's rock climbing, the heart is in celebration of life. It's liberation. That's why we move our heart. That's why we take long walks. That's why we go swimming. When our heart is moving, our heart is happy, our heart is liberating this physical life. So when we die, it is the final heartbeat that decides the life we live. So if our heartbeat is in shallow, if our heartbeat is of depth in the final rhythm, kind of shows our vibrational state in death. If our heart is weak, or if our heart is shallow, or if our heart is strong and our heart is rhythmically fine, right, in the end of our life, it decides our vibration in the afterlife. Rhythm is through the vibration of the heart. The heart directs the rhythm of our thoughts, and as well as the rhythm of our sex and communication. So our heart and our tongue share the same cell tissue. So what we communicate through our mouth, it usually is an expression of what's going on in our heart. And our sex as well, right? We experience the sex, the rhythm of sex, the passion, through our heart. So if our heart is more rhythmic, our sex becomes more rhythmic. If our heart is more rhythmic, our thoughts become more rhythmic. If we become more heartfelt, more charismatic, bold, strong in our heart, resilient, tolerant, liberated in our heart, right? Through yoga, through movement, through exercise, we tend to become more liberated in our sex. We become more liberated in our thinking. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your hands down. You'll definitely feel like some sort of adjustment, right? You'll feel more space in the back of your neck, and you even feel space when it comes to the shoulders. Even at the base of the spine, you can feel more. Even in the base of the spine, you can feel more energy kind of like moving. It really stretches your whole spine. So I wanted us to do this particular mantra. This particular mantra is called just looking for it right now. So this is a Indian scale, so I just wanted to get it up so I know that I have it correctly. So goes. So we're going to just have our hands relaxed right on our heart. So left hand on our heart, right hand's kind of like this. So think of it like, right, think of this like the higher heart, right? In the higher heart, we make an oath, right? We make an agreement. That's where we really obey. When we think of I obey my heart, I follow through in my heart. That's the higher heart, right? Right here in this kind of upper chest, right? Where it kind of feels sort of like a cave. When you hit it, it feels like an echoes, right? It's like an echo. And have your right hand right here, kind of sort of not like this, just kind of like right here, right? Fingers are, thumb is in. So goes. Sa re ga ma ba da ni sa sa ni da ba ma ga re sa. So again, just kind of follow through or allow your voice to expand and feel it on your palms. So when you talk, you're right. It's like this is a cave. Think of your heart like a cave, and your vocal cord is like the gong, right? And think of you're feeling the vibration move into your palm, and the kind of move, right? So you're kind of feeling your own vibration. So you're connecting with your own vibration to understand the power of your voice, right? So. Sa re ga ma ba da ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga re sa sa re ga ma ba da ni sa sa Now, kind of have your middle finger out like this, and the other middle finger out like this, right? This is your Saturn finger. Your Saturn, think of it like discipline, right? Think of it like control, right? You have control of yourself. You have discipline over yourself. Saturn is very strict, right? A Saturn teacher is usually a teacher of discipline, a teacher of structure, a teacher of order, right? A teacher of study. So continue. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni ni sa. Sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. Sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. Sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Now bring the hands out. So you have your thumb on the pinky mound, which is the Mercury mound, right? Mercury, we know Gemini has that Mercury, which has to do with our ability to communicate and express ourselves. So you're going to have it kind of here, and just kind of go like this, out. So see that kind of angle? Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, re, sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to use the Jupiter finger, so we use the Saturn finger. Discipline the pinky finger, which has to do with communication, right? And our integrity is kind of like our pinky, right? Pinky ring is like an integrity ring. A Saturn ring is kind of like a ring of confinement, right? A ring of like confining my energy, right? Restriction. And we think of the Jupiter finger as in like you when you see like rock stars wear like rings on their index finger, it's kind of like cool, right? It's like I'm a cool cat. So it's like prosperity, right? It's of radiance. So the Jupiter finger is of like prosperity, of radiance. When you see people wear these Jupiter rings, it means like I'm a cool cat, right? Like the rock stars, they wear a lot of Jupiter rings around this finger. So kind of like you're pointing up, right, to the universe, like to the ETs, saying hello. So kind of like make sure like your arm is kind of just straight, so it's not like it's in the same, it's a straight line from the wrist all the way to the elbow. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. gonna kind of wiggle the finger. So I'm wiggling it inward, so the right finger, see, it's rotating counterclockwise, and the left finger is rotating clockwise, so it's like rotating inward. See that? Inward. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. So think of it like the chakras. So sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. Sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. So going up and down. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. Sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. Sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. Sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. Sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Inhale, exhale. Now the last finger we're going to work with, so we worked with all of them except this ring finger, which is this Venus and Sun finger. So think of Venus as beauty, right? Venus, we think of love. That's why it's our ring finger, marriage, right? We think of Venus as great love, higher love, beauty in all forms. We also think of the sun as in the sun it's a masculine energy. Venus is a feminine energy. But the sun, it represents the power of life. It represents creativity. We think of the sun as Leo, right? Leo is the most creative sign of all the zodiac, right? With sun, there's life. There is no creativity, no life without a sun, right? So think of the sun as your light source, your energy, your creativity, right? Your roar, your gong, your sound current, your mission, your assignment in life. So kind of this ring finger, we're going to it's kind of difficult, right, because we don't really like use this finger, right, kind of like I don't even know how to move it, right, so you kind of have it right over, left over right, and if you can fold your fingers, go ahead, right, bend them and kind of place the thumb over the pointer finger and the middle finger to kind of keep it down, and just try your best to keep your pinky down. And then just kind of have it here, right, like right at the, kind of when you look down, you see like a triangle, so try to create that sort of triangle when you look down. And you're just going to close your eyes, and you're going to go continue the mantra. So again, try to keep your fingers not like out like this, right, try to keep them together if you can, right, it's going to take a little effort. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. Sa re ni da pa ma ga re sa. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. Sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. exhale. So there you go. We worked with all of these sort of fingers. We don't usually work with the fingers, and we usually never think of the fingers connected to the planets in our solar system, but they are. So we kind of worked with all of these planets that are orbiting our aura, because we live on planet Earth, right? So we have access to all of these powerful energies of Mercury and the Sun and Venus and of Saturn and of Jupiter, right? We work constantly with these energies all the time. They're in our astrological chart, they're in our cosmology, sort of orbit. So the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to kind of put all these energies together in some sort of movement meditation. So think of sa, yeah, so just follow along, you'll get it. So think of sa as like I'm cupping the womb, right? Kind of like it's a womb. Sa, re, kind of like a downward triangle. Sa, re, right? See that triangle? Try to create it perfect. Sa, re, ga. I'm forgetting the mantra. Okay, so sa, re, ga, ma. So sa, re, ga, ma, pa. Think of pa, wait, pa, like papa, pa, the father, ma, mother, papa, the father. So sa, re, ga, ma, pa, pa. So sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. See? So, and then you can try to go backwards if you can, right? Well, it's good for your brain. Ready? So, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Just remain. Ready? A couple more times. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Last time. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Just take a moment to kind of feel everything you just did. It's kind of like we did choreography, and we sort of like did some sort of communication choreography to better communicate with ourselves. So we're just going to tune out, just Satnam. So inhale. Satnam. 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 And there you go. So this is a thing for the Gemini full moon. So everything we did from the Indian music scale was all about better communicating with ourselves, with our physical body, also better like communication with the astrology and cosmology, so we can have a better understanding of what's going on this planet and like what changes are happening, so we can better utilize, also as alchemize what's going on. So when we connect with the planets, we can better, when we understand the changes that are going on, we can actually alchemize instead of go back crazy and insane because all these sudden all these changes are happening and we're like in the smack in the middle of change, and all we're doing is reacting, right? From a low vibrational state, which is, I don't know what's going on, I'm confused, there's misunderstanding, I'm misappropriating everything, taking it all personally, taking it all seriously. By the end of the change, right, whatever sort of cosmic event is happening, we're wiped out, we're totally exhausted because we just spent our whole time just reacting instead of alchemizing, which is, there's something going on, this planet, right, and the planets around. This full moon in Gemini means it's definitely going to intensify my inner communication and this Gemini aspect of myself. I'm gonna alchemize. I'm gonna utilize it to my advantage, right? I'm going to be useful, and I'm going to use it to help myself, instead of use change to create more upset and more agitation within me, right? We're going to use this major change and the reaction I'm having to it, right? Where maybe I'm angry, or feel emotional, or I feel pain, or I feel stubborn, or I feel confusion. I'm going to use my reaction to it to propel me forward instead of use my reaction to kind of make me feel inhibited or restricted. You know, I'm going to use my reaction to change, right, to propel me forward, right, to learn the lesson, to receive the message, right, and to be the messenger to my own life and use whatever it is that I know currently, my knowledge of the planets, right, to help myself gain the wisdom that I need, right, from that cosmic event, right? Because every cosmic event is like a message. It's a messenger. It gives us wisdom. It gives us higher energy. But you have to catch it. It's almost like it's throwing you a ball, right? The full moon in Gemini is a ball. It's throwing you energy, but you have to grab it, right? So a lot of people, they miss it. They're like, oh, it was a full moon? I don't even know. Okay, right? So we got to catch it. And we don't have to stare at the full moon for 8 hours a day to catch the full moon. It's just a matter of fact, it's just consciously trying to just dropping in and becoming aware that, wait a minute, there's something going on. I feel it. There's something going on. Let me just tap in for even 5 minutes to kind of allow myself to amplify whatever strength or wisdom that's trying to download into me. Maybe let me create a space for me to receive that download instead of let me ignore or let me block it out because, right, I'm not paying attention, right? So let me pay attention so that I can actually get the download, because that download that might come in might actually be something that's very significant, right? Some people, they get the download of an entire novel, right, just from some sort of cosmic event. Like, let's say, like a full moon in Pisces. That's for me when I get massive downloads for like stories or artistic, creative expression, right? So you can receive it, right, just through opening up your arms, or you can block it out. But either way, it's there, right? It's just not there for you, right? Until you become available to you, then the universe is open, right? When you're not available to yourself, the universe is closed to you, but just to you. It doesn't mean it's closed to people around you, it's just to you, because you're not opening your arms to it. And a lot of us, we don't even know. We think we're receptive. We think that we're reciprocating, we're receptive, right, to the whatever it is that wants to move and shake our lives and give us change, right, to help us move forward. But really, we're more stubborn in the way that we're only receptive to what we want to hear, and we're only receptive to our comfort, and we're only receptive to what is known, and we're only receptive to what is been done before, right, with us in our life in the past. So we're right, receptivity is to be open to the unknown. It's more so receptivity is I'm open to the unknown rather than I'm only open to my stubborn idea of my past, right? So a lot of people are fixated on it has to be like this. It's usually because it has to do with the past, right? The change knocked on their door, but they didn't answer. And now change knocks again on their door, they answer, but now they don't even know what to do because they didn't really prepare themselves, right? They didn't really listen to themselves. And now the second knock is there, maybe months, years later for some people, they don't even know how to respond. They don't even know what to do because they've gotten so comfortable in living just as they are, right? Living as closed off, right? So now the message is there and they're opening it because curiosity kind of killed the cat and they open the door and but then now they're just kind of frozen in time because many times the door knocked and many times they ignored. So when it kind of knocks again, you're like, oh, I would like to go, but then you're in a dilemma because you're so attached to your past that it becomes like a weight on your back that you can't walk out of the door because the weight on your back, it can't go with you. Like, it can't even fit through the door, right? So that's why when we constant knock on our door, it's a message that constantly helps us to shed the past, simplify our life, use the wisdom it offers to make our life simpler, right? So that the difficulty doesn't become a past that has us hunched over, right? So that the difficulty becomes a life lesson for us to attack really fiercely so that we can move on and move on lightly, right? Be light on your feet like a dancer, right? Rather than heavy, everybody can hear you coming. You're heavy on your feet, everybody can you're not going anywhere, right? And everybody can see that you're just kind of struggling. You're just kind of slagging forward. We want you all light on your toes so you can kind of have a nice sort of jam and boogie forward rather than clamping and struggling that kind of thing. So thank you for joining me and Satnam.